also live. We do begin our live coverage from Gigiri, where it's exactly day 4 of the UN Habitat Assembly, where today they're discussing sustainable cities and communities in the country. Let's first of all cross over to Gigiri.
Well, indeed, a very good afternoon to you there, Ben Troy Njue, in the broadcasting house. We are coming to you live from the UN Habitat Assembly here at the UN headquarters in Gigiri, where it's been a 4-day experience of discussing matters, as you said earlier, SDG 11, talking about sustainable development, the Urban Africa agenda, and making sure that the story of the urban poor will be a matter of history. Today in the afternoon, there will be a discussion about matters concerning whether the world is ready for having 100% public transport, having people walk and cycling to work and back home. But then we want to localize this story to our country, Kenya, and particularly talking about the capital city in Nairobi and whether the capital city is ready for something like cycling. And for this, to discuss this further, I would have someone who's been cycling for 10 years to tell me about it, whether Kenya, or rather Nairobi, is ready for cycling. Good afternoon, sir, and thank you very much for speaking to us. This is KBC Channel 1. We are live. Perhaps we can start by your name, and then let's just get straight into it. Someone who's been cycling for 10 years, do you feel like our country or our capital city is safe for cyclists?
My name is Bobby Ririani. I'm the CEO and founder of Limitless Outdoors, a bike company. I think in terms of the mentality of Kenyans, we are ready for cycling, but the infrastructure that is in place is not yet ready for us because there's a growing number of cyclists coming up, but we don't have cycling lanes which are already in place. But in other places, they are setting up walking lanes and cycling lanes, but they're not enough. They reach places which you stop, then we continue. But the masses, people are coming out with their bicycles. They are ready. Yeah, so we just need the infrastructure to follow.
Okay.
Yes.
And for someone who's been riding bicycles to work, home for 10 years plus now, as you said earlier, yes, is there maybe an incident that you've had that's maybe ever made you feel like maybe this is not it for me and maybe I just should go back to the conventional means of transport to and from work?
For me, cycling is life. That's what I do every day. So I wouldn't go back into the conventional transport because even the feeling that cycling gives you in the morning as you're going to work, it gives you a good mood and it gives you energized before you go. In terms of experiences, yes, I've had not so serious incidences. I've been lucky, maybe just been shoved off the road a little bit by a motorist, but generally I've had good experiences, none life-threatening. But I've been lucky on that. Yeah, so it's all about knowing about being visible on the road and also knowing about road rules and safety.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe as we finish, last question: what would the government do in terms of policy changes to ensure that cyclists are safe? Just one point as we wind up.
Yeah, the best is just having infrastructure in place so that there is walking lanes, cycling lanes, and the motorist road. Yeah, if we separate all those three, then everyone can move in their own separate lanes safely.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for speaking to us. Well, there you have it, Ben Troy Njue. What people need is policy changes to ensure that if someone is a cyclist, someone wants to walk, there are dedicated lanes and they would feel safe, not only just around the capital city in the country, but also globally as well. We'll be monitoring that engagement in the afternoon and, of course, bringing this story to you in our subsequent bulletins. But until then, back to you in studio, Ben Troy.
Indeed, thank you so much, Farah. Well said that promoting the Urban Africa agenda and working towards policies that will support the Sustainable Development Goal number 11. And still on conservation matters, we now cross over